you got the list of topics I put, right?
No, let's start with the R.I.P. Breonna Taylor and all of that. You know, her killers are still free. Let's
Yeah,
recognize that
yeah,
injustice off top.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, let's get right into the election. I think everyone here is pro Joe, right?
Uh,
Correct. What?
I'm
What?
not. I'm
Okay,
not.
already
I'm
off
not. I'm
top.
not pro.
You're not
Not pro
pro.
Joe, but I'm not. But Trump is just off the
yeah,
off the.
Okay,
yeah,
let me try again. All right,
yeah.
let me try again. Not pro Joe, but no one here is
Anti-Trump.
voting for Donald Trump.
I'm
Uh,
not. I'm
No,
not.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
can't
not.
No,
do
all
that.
right. But I mean, some people would say that not voting for Joe is a vote for Trump. I hear that a lot.
I
But is
think
I'm
everyone
depending
not.
on
here voting for Joe?
I think depending on what state you're in, not voting for Joe is a vote for Trump. Like if you're in a swing state and you pull that, then that's a problem. Like if you're in New York or if you're in California and you want, like, I know Dad, I could see you not choosing not to vote. And in California that doesn't make a difference, man. But if you're in Ohio or Pennsylvania, that's a problem. I still get on cats on the Coli today because they live in Michigan and they telling me they didn't vote.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I feel like I feel like you can't. No, no, no. Because I feel like, well, in my opinion, I feel like you can't be mad at somebody. And this is, my honest opinion. I feel like you can't be mad at somebody if they feel like not voting. Because both candidates are terrible. Both candidates are terrible. And if you live by a principle that says, I have to vote in somebody I believe in, Joe Biden is just a hair better than Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? In the scheme of things, he's one level above. But is he really worth our vote? Hell no. That dude's not a leader.
But regarding Joe, are you voting for his past or for his future? Because I mean,
Joe,
Joe, because he's saying things that will help us going forward, even though he's
I
fucked up
think
in the past.
I think Joe Biden is 2 years away from being totally like mentally incompetent. Not even 2 years, probably a year, being mentally incompetent enough to even handle the office of president. Like he can't. His coherent sentences. He doesn't really put them together. String of subjects. He doesn't really put them together. His memory is terrible. Like, and if you look on YouTube, there's a whole 10-minute video of him kissing on little girls in inappropriate manners. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Okay,
like,
Wait,
is
so with
wait,
that
it?
said,
wait.
then are you voting for Kamala Harris?
No, no, no. What I'm saying is that I'm going to vote for Biden because I've come to feel that Trump is just an evil that he's a different kind of he's white supremacy at its apex. Like he is white supremacy in a very powerful office in the country, and he's out of control, and he's ignorant, and he's stupid, and he's racist, and he's probably also a pedophile, like all this shit. So it's like,
Damn,
no, I'm not fucking with
also a
him.
pedophile. Damn.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
fucking
got
with him
the
by
passport.
I'm not fucking with him by any stretch.
Damn.
Motherfucker's the Antichrist.
I know.
But with what Oso said, basically I've come to terms that this is like voting for Biden is almost like we've kind of been saying that it's almost like you're voting for Harris. Because I don't see Biden running a second term. I barely see him making it. Out of the birth. I barely see him making it. Maybe 2-3 years from now because he is aging and he does like have this kind of setbacks. With that said, I think Joe was the only one the Democrats had with the kind of name recognition that could come out of nowhere and just has that kind of just stability that has that relatability that other people that just independent people could kind of like gravitate towards. It was some type of sense of like
I
normalcy.
think I
Return
like
to Obama where he wasn't
honestly. I
perfect,
think
but
Bloomberg
normal.
could have been just as good. I think Bloomberg, all the negatives that came along with Bloomberg weren't things that the Republicans were going to be able to attack him on. They were things that
Fucking
the left didn't
Bloomberg?
like.
Are
Yeah,
you
Bloomberg.
fucking joking right now?
Yeah, I
Bro,
think
bro, bro,
I
bro. New
think
York.
all the drawbacks were things that the left didn't like and that the right really couldn't attack him on because they're all about that shit.
Man, Bloomberg was a fucking bum.
Bloomberg is a fucking bum. I live in New York City, and I'm telling you, Bloomberg is a fucking elitist, fucking aristocratic. Yo, nah, he's not. I mean, he's better than Biden,
I'm
and he's
saying,
better than Trump.
how does the right attack an elitist? Like, how does that hurt him going against Republicans?
I don't. But what's your argument, though? I don't know. Like, he's better. He's better for
No,
us as
I'm
a
just saying
people.
he had the name recognition as well. I wouldn't have voted for him, and I'm voting for Joe. But I'm just saying, as far as no one else had the name recognition to actually go against Trump, I think Bloomberg would have smoked Trump.
What about Bernie? Bernie's my
But you
guy.
know what? Now,
Bernie could
you know what,
have
Dad? I
made
got
it.
a question. I got a question for you, Dad, because technically, if you're voting for Joe, you're pretty much because we overrate what the president can and can't do, right? You're voting
Right.
what you're voting for is the Democratic agenda because if he gets to Congress, he's gonna be rubber stamping everything they pass,
I'm not.
and you're anti all
Yeah,
that stuff.
I'm anti all that stuff, but I think Trump's what Trump brings to the
Anti-American.
office, uh, the negativity that Trump brings to the office outweighs how bad
Anything.
I believe all the progressive policies will be. And I'm actually ecstatic that we're going to have a 6-3 Supreme Court because that'll be the last check and balance on some of those progressive policies that I don't want to see enacted. Like
Why?
we're
Why are you
Until
so
we expand it.
anti-progressive?
we'd have to go policy by policy, but I believe that Dems are more than likely going to take the Senate and they will take the White House. And just in general, I don't believe either side should have complete control. I don't like it if it's all left or all right. It doesn't matter which side it is or where you stand. No side should have complete control of the country. So
Did
I if
all right. Dad,
in my
Dad, Dad,
opinion,
Dad, Dad. Speaking of the Supreme Court, did anyone see this? Did anyone read this article that came up today that said that Democrats are trying to limit the Supreme Court terms to 18 years? Any thoughts on that?
So how many years?
18.
it's you know
I don't like it.
I don't like how these sort of things both sides have done similar things like this when you lose control. Whenever they lose control, they want to start, reining things in. But when they had power, you weren't hearing anything like this. And if Dems
Mm-hmm.
take control of the House and the Senate, all of a sudden the right's going to say maybe we do need term limits. All of a sudden maybe they are getting paid too much. Like it's whenever you're not in the driver's seat, now you want to put checks and balances on things. It's all bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good.
So where do you guys stand on the idea of expanding the court?
I think it's silly. I actually agree with Sanders and Joe Biden in earlier comments when they said it just makes the court meaningless if you keep expanding it. Because then,
That okay, but you can do it in a way where it won't be
but
like I
then,
posted in the chat.
but then next Republican term they expand it again to make it their way. It's just you can keep. There's no check on it. If you go down that path, where does it end?
It depends what the law says. You can write the law so that there is a check in it.
So you support one side of the aisle crafting it so that they're in control. We're gonna
No,
expand it and then make it so that after we've expanded it to how we like, no one else can expand it.
no. Actually, the proposal is the one that I like is that you expand it to 15. Each side picks five, and then the 10 judges pick the last five, and that's it. That's
I
fair.
gotta read
That I don't see the point in that.
it.
The point is that you don't have the battle over the courts, so that's eliminated, and it becomes a totally actual impartial jury
I
because
know. I
it
hate to. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Not because they weren't picked by the party. They were picked by the judges themselves upon like with consensus. So it's like we
But
had to live with the
see,
results.
this is kind of like what happens when Congress has buyer's remorse. Let's say it's the right, and the right takes control of the House, the Senate, and the Oval Office, and they've noticed a trend that where the judges tend to lean left, so they want to change this law. Like, there's no way to stop them from doing that. Like, anything
I
that
don't
Congress
understand.
makes, Congress can
It
unmake.
depends how you write the law, though. There's got to like the same way it could be a constitutional amendment. How about that? I mean, it can't
Oh,
Those
because it
are
takes a lot to
extremely
get there.
difficult to
I know it
do.
takes a lot to get
Like,
there.
I don't
But
know. It
depending,
just
okay,
seems like
but we
if
can write it so that there's no sunset for 100 years. It can't be changed again for 100 or some bullshit like that.
the way it is now, the court can swing back and forth, and it's it has swung back and forth. And what you're
That's not good.
proposing, but I think it is good. I think the pendulum is part of what makes this country great. Is that we aren't set on any one way. You know, I think the fact that things swing back the other way is a good check and balance. I
But do
just really
things
like,
really swing back?
The court
yeah.
never
My
swings back
God,
though.
when does the pendulum swing back to the people's side? In what context? You
That's
know,
called polling. That's called
I
polling.
know you know I was gonna get here eventually, but come
Oh
on now,
man,
let's
oh,
be
but that
serious.
question.
This is this has been elite run since the day it was born, from before it was even a thought
Facts.
in England's fucking thought process. America has been on the elitist bullshit. So when does it swing to the people's side?
What it is you're asking for isn't on the table, so I don't even know how to answer that. Like, it's not even.
That's
That's
the
not.
It
problem.
is
Yeah,
on the table,
it's not
and
on
that's
the
the issue.
table.
It is on. Why
No,
is it not on the table?
it's not on the table at all.
Because you know what the thing is, the thinking like that is why it's not on the table. Because we as a people do not think it's on the table. We are in control of this shit, my guy. We are in control of all of this shit.
The American
You know,
people
Control of all
I
of this
used to
shit.
feel that way.
have abdicated so much. I don't think you realize just how far we are from that. That's not really on the
I mean,
table. We need
come
incremental
on. I
steps
know.
to get there. And I
I
mean, maybe
understand.
someday.
I
Do you
understand
hear
what you're
yourself there?
saying.
Hold on. Dad, you said it. We need incremental steps to get there. A
Right.
balanced court can get us there incrementally, slowly, without all the hoopla and the bickering and the fighting and the
The court,
animosity.
I think, I think Congress plays a bigger role than the court does. And I think the court's actually been pretty good.
Try.
I mean, gay marriage
I
is
agree.
good. Women serving in the
I
military is
agree.
good. Like, they've made some. I don't see no decisions that have come down recently that were just horrendous or just out of touch. I'm not really sure what the fear is all about, or where it stems from, or what we think they're going to do. I mean, do we think they're gonna make
Oh,
abortion illegal? Like, is that the real issue?
because when things are not handled at a certain legal level, they send the law of the land is the Supreme Court.
Right.
Like if it goes to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court says this is law, then it supersedes everything. So I think that's
Right.
where the importance.
Well, what I'm saying is, in my opinion, the Supreme Court has been pretty good as of late. I haven't seen any rulings that, give me
What?
pause. Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
I
Hey,
mean,
Dad. I hate to break it to you, but Trump has Tom Cotton on his short list to become a justice, bro. Like, come on.
I mean, that would be ridiculous. But that would be ridiculous. I mean, things could change, yeah. But I'm just saying, as of right now, the Supreme Court's been doing a great job. Um, Roberts has been,
Did you
that
guys
guy.
care that RBG died?
No, I didn't really.
Right? Who gives a
Okay.
fuck?
I didn't really care.
It was more of a oh fuck moment. Like he should have stepped down when Obama was in office. Yeah, that's pretty much all I kind of shook my head at. Just like, damn. I was like, what else could happen next in 2020? It's just what's the irony of this happening? Right, less than 60 days before an election, and the Republicans, you knew that they were going to do this shit. You knew it. You knew. But I'm glad it kind of showed their lack of integrity because now we know that there's always going to be just super self-serving. So just when you have that mindset going forward, you know
But did we really need this example to know that that's who they were? We know that they've been that population since day one. So it's like, is this really a
Honestly, I
surprise?
needed it, man.
I mean, I don't think they should, I don't think they should play politics. I'm glad she didn't do that. I mean, I think they should be completely autonomous and just separate. I think it should just be separate but equal. Is
Who you
how it's
don't want
supposed
to
to
play
be.
politics? You don't want to play politics.
I don't think the Supreme Court should play politics. I think they
They've
should.
always been political, though. They've always been political because every
I
time
said I
there's
don't think
a
they should
justice,
be. I just that's all I'm
yeah,
saying. I don't think
I
they
know.
should
That's
be.
the whole point. Because if you look at the makeup of the Supreme Court, each justice has their own separate ideology and political affiliations. You know what I'm saying? They're not all independent. If anything, they should have all been independent thinkers.
That's
If
cool.
we expand the core of my idea, they won't be political. I mean, we know they shouldn't be, but reality is reality. So we have to mitigate things so that it works better.
But honestly, I'm kind of like leaning towards what Dad was saying, which is that the Supreme Court has been pretty consistent and pretty kind of like out the way with things. It's Congress. Congress, yo. Like when things really come down the aisle and it's laws that needs to get passed, regulations that need to get upped, corporations that need to get put in check, it's always Congress is dropping the ball because Congress works for the corporations. Congress works for these people that we call the 1% of the or the elite or whatever you want to call them or whatever. Congress works for them, So it's like they're fucking us over by the laws that they create.
True. But the question of how we fix Congress, that's a whole podcast on its own.
There's no fixing Congress. Congress is exactly what
What
it
it
was
is.
supposed to be. Yeah, it's what it is. Like this is it. Like people
That's
think it's
not
broken.
true. That's not
No,
true
this
at all,
is it.
man.
Congress is not supposed to be controlled by business interests. Congress is supposed to regulate businesses.
As long as
Right
Congress
now,
is made up of and ran by flesh and blood human beings, this is exactly what it's supposed to be. This is exactly what you're going to get.
But again,
100% of the time.
we can pass
not what
the
it's
rules
supposed to
to make
be,
it better.
not what it's supposed to be, because at the end of the day, I'm never mad at a corporation for being a corporation. Corporations are out here to get money. They're out here to, they're out here to maximize their bottom line. They're out here for all that, and I understand that. But what the key is that it's up to the government to regulate the corporations and say, hey, you know what? If you stepping out of pocket, it's up to me to step in and say, hey, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, or there are going to be consequences. And that's where the government is falling short. So I don't think this is how it's supposed to be.
My thing is,
This is a complicated issue on its own that deserves like its own kind of podcast. Just breaking down, the role of like lobbyists, breaking down how to even get elected and how you can't even get to Congress without having the money and influence, man. Like that's complicated within itself. Congress is working as it was designed to work, man. It works in a special interest.
It's complicated, but at the end of the day, it's not lobbyist dollars. At the end of the day, do not get you elected. It's votes that get you elected, which means it's the people that get you elected, which means it's the people's interest you're supposed to serve.
Yeah, manipulation gets people elected, man. Like people don't like racism gets people elected, man. Like these are distractions that get people elected. It's
I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I'm just distributing the point that it's not about money. It's not about lobbyists. It's not about a fucking dollar. You know what I'm saying? It's not about one fucking dollar that should be in politics, because at the end of the day, you know what it is? It is the votes of the people like you and me, right? It's votes from us that put these people in power. Now, the lobbyists and all the campaign funding that comes into play when you're talking about influencing who? The fucking people. They get this lobbyist money, and what do they do with it? They put some in their pockets, and then they use some for media, and they use some for promotion, and they use some for this and that to make sure that they're a viable candidate, to make sure that the people vote for them. That's all it is at the end of the day. It all comes back to the people. So the money, the lobbyists, all that shit don't mean shit. It means shit in our current system, but in the reality, it doesn't mean shit, because it's all a manipulation to get our vote.
Or not to vote.
Is the thinking that we remove money from politics that the politicians will then begin serving the people. Is that the idea?
Oh man, Jay,
don't know.
don't do it.
I just want
Okay,
to see if we
listen,
think these people are
I
gonna
don't know.
change. Like I want to see
Don't do
if
it.
I just want to
Oh,
hear.
but
I just want to
All
hear.
right, all right.
no, listen. Here's what I know. Here's what I know is that it seems like you're advocating for more for getting government more and more out of things and letting the natural course of things take that course. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but
But I'm coming at the lobbying from the other way. If government can't pick winners and losers, there's no way to lobby. There's no reason to lobby them in the first place. Like you want government to be the police and set the rules. So then these companies go, okay, well these people have all the control, so I need to get them on my side, and that's why they're lobbying. That's why all the money goes to government in the first place, is because people want to win.
So, so if you stop the lobbying, then doesn't that fix it?
That's what I'm asking. You think that that's how it works? That you take the money out? First of all, let's say we're not saying stop lobbying. You're saying stop cash.
Yes.
You can't stop lobbying. That's not even.
Yes. Yes.
That's not
Stop
possible.
cash. Yeah. Correct. You're right.
So you're saying stop
It
money,
helps.
and then things are fixed.
And or
nobody
better.
said
Yes.
nobody.
I'm asking,
But,
what is
no,
the
okay.
idea behind you say we stop money, then what happens?
Wait,
Things
hold on.
get
When you
better.
say stop money, what do you mean? When you say stop money, what do you mean?
Take money out of politics, as defined however you would like.
Okay. So here's
Well,
an
defined
example, Ted.
however I
Right.
would like,
So
huh?
right now we have climate change is a big deal right now,
Oh
and all
God.
the oil companies and all the oil companies are lobbying and paying people to vote their way. The same thing with pollution, right? The plastics and all that stuff. So if they didn't do that,
Full disclosure, I work for Chevron, so I am extremely biased in these sort of topics.
okay. So point being, if Chevron and the like didn't pay the politicians to vote their way, maybe we would have more control over the climate or whatever the hell. Man, you're about to have and like I don't know, like that's just the way I see it, man.
So you think if we took money out of politics, we'd have more environmental controls?
I would say so.
Hmm.
I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's that simple because you have a power structure that is trying to retain this power by any means necessary, and so if money is taken out of it completely, like let's just visualize what that would even look like for a second. Like there's in terms of advertising dollars spent on campaigns and outreach and things like that. Like what would that even look like? I feel like that's not really changing the fabric of what's happening, which is that at the end of the day, and this is kind of the point that I was getting to earlier, which is that corporations have taken over our government, and it's like if you're advocating for less government, right, in the current situation, you're really advocating for the people that are responsible for our current situations, which are the high level. Let's just keep it real. The high level lobbyists, the Fortune 500, the high level banks, they are responsible for the situation that we're in right now. And, how do you remove them from power? Is it through
But
removing
that,
money?
that's the thing.
I
I
If
I
don't
you remove
think,
if
I
you
don't,
if you remove the money, you do remove them because the only way to retain power in that case would be to get the most votes. So they have to appeal to the public instead of appealing to the lobbyists to sell the bullshit story they're gonna speak, the commercials and all that stuff, and advertise their way into office.
but okay. So think about it like this. Think about it as you're J.P. Morgan and you got to appeal to the voters. At the end of the day, the voters only have two choices, let's use the example of our current presidential race. You have Trump and you have Biden, right? And then along those lines, you have Republican and you have Democrat. All up and down the line in terms of Congress. But as J.P. Morgan, all you're thinking about is, okay, I don't give a fuck who wins. I'm funding both sides, and whoever gets into office is still. It doesn't matter who gets into
But
office,
that's
whether
all.
it's
That's
Trump
why
or
we're
whether
that's
it's
why we're getting
Biden.
money out of it. That's why you got to get the money out of it.
It's not money. It's not. See, you keep saying money, but the thing of it is, look at college football. These college football players aren't necessarily always receiving money. What happens is they get other monetary incentives. Like they get like their parents get hooked up with jobs. They get cars. They're like it's other things. It's not physical cash. Like we keep thinking like money. They're
No,
always
yeah,
gonna
but
find a way
all
to
that stuff
accept
has to
money.
go.
How do you regulate it? That's the thing.
I mean, the way we do it now is deal whistleblowers, opponents rat each other out, basically.
So
That's all.
I guess what I'm saying is that without a shift in culture, my opinion, without a shift in culture away from what we're currently doing right now, then it doesn't matter if you take money out of it. It doesn't matter what kind of external things you try to fix. If you don't fix the internal issue, which is the the power structures that we have leached onto the government and now controlling the government. If you don't fix that and you don't get these people up out of here, because it's not about like I said, it's not about the corporations. The corporations are doing what they're supposed to do. Corporations like, yo, get money, fuck everything else. Okay, I get you. I feel that, right? I'll go illegal if I have to. Okay, I get you. I feel that. But the government's job to regulate that. Like, okay, you're going illegal. If you're a company and you're dumping toxic chemicals into this river and poisoning this community, that's wrong. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to shut you down. If you're doing shit to an economic detriment to the country through one way or another, I'm gonna put a regulation on it. I'm gonna put a law here. I'm gonna put a law there. Or worst come to worst, I'm going to shut you down. And what I'm saying is that the government is not doing that. So we got to get all these motherfuckers up out of here, as far as I'm concerned. You know, maybe like there's like 600, so slots in like talk about the Congress and the president and governors and the mayors and all that. Like, listen, we can find 600 good people in the country. We're gonna do the right thing.
I agree with the overall
Premise.
sentiment, the overall premise. I just don't approach the issue as these companies are the problem. Why do we gloss over the politician that's accepting the money whenever we speak a lot of lobbying? We always say they're bought and paid for, these evil corporations. We always gloss over there's a politician that we voted
It
into
takes money
office
to get
that
elected, Dad. It
that
takes
is
money to get elected, Dad. It takes
okay,
money to get
but
elected.
I'm listen to the point. Who is beholden to you? The guy you voted for, or a private businessman in another state or another country, even sometimes? Who's
But
more beholden to you?
I got you. But here's the catch: is that once you vote, your vote is cast.
Okay,
Your vote is cast. Okay, I'm in the office now. Once I'm in the office, now I have to satisfy the people that put the money up. The people that put the money up, I'm accountable to them
okay,
year
no, I'm
round.
asking you. Who is
Politicians are
beholden?
only
Who is
accountable.
beholden to you? The private business or that politician? Who do you think is more responsible in that scenario, in the current way things
It's
work?
absolutely the politician. It's
Okay,
absolutely the
so why is
politician.
he always glossed over and left out when we're speaking about lobbying?
But we're
He's
not
not.
glossing
I'm
over
saying
it,
we should
Dad.
get
But we're
all these
saying
motherfuckers up out of here.
what,
Look,
he doesn't get
everybody.
he doesn't get glossed over. It's just
Why
the
can't we
fact
fix the
that.
problem by holding the politicians accountable?
But we
Okay,
can, right?
okay. So
When
yeah,
you
we
say get
can't.
money out of
Okay, go
politics,
ahead.
it's to pass some kind of legal structure so that they cannot accept like money, so that the money can't come their way. Period. Because humans are stupid. Period. And you know that humans are dumb. They're gonna vote for whatever makes sense to vote for, and they're gonna accept money when you offer it to them. So,
Because people are
when we,
stupid. That's all I can say.
so us getting money out of politics is more of a punishment to the politician than it is a punishment to the corporation. Don't take it as an
So,
insult.
so,
I know you
so,
support the corporate.
if
I feel like that.
if
I
I
feel like that's
follow,
fixing the.
our government is shit, so we have to keep them from being influenced by other people, by outside
Exactly.
influence.
I feel like that's dealing with a symptom and not the root cause of the issue. You know what I'm saying? The symptom. One of the symptoms is, you know what? Yeah, corporations and banks and all these high level people can control politics with the use of money. Okay, that's a symptom. But the issue is that we as the people allow them to do this because we are putting people in office that are co-signing all of
So
this shit.
what I'm getting at is why couldn't we just make accepting money illegal, and then politicians who accept money can go to jail? It sounds
They're
simple,
not
but
gonna pass that law.
it sounds
That's the same
simple.
thing, though. We're getting money out. That's the same thing that we're talking about.
No,
Getting
no,
money
no,
out of
no, no, no,
politics.
no. It's not the same thing. You want to make it so that they can't do it. I want to know the corrupt politicians that are willing to try to do it and send them to jail. I want to
Or we
out
can
the
do
bad
both.
apples. You want to make it so that we can't ID these bad apples by making it. You want to just remove the whole thing. I mean, don't you want
Look,
upstanding people in Congress? Don't you want the best? Don't you want honorable people in Congress?
here's the thing. In my opinion, these people that are willing to accept the bribes, right? That want the bribes. If the bribes aren't available, they aren't going to win the position.
That's not true.
That's not true because they're still gonna because it's still a position of power. Like if you're in Congress, if you're on the city council, you're making decisions that are affecting people's lives in a very powerful way. Like it's a
But you don't want to do it for nothing.
For instance, it's illegal for officers to accept bribes. Why doesn't that law extend to congressmen? Like it's just a very simple thing.
It does though.
Wait, Dad, are you saying if we take money out of it, you think that's going to solve things? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just approaching it from let's hold the politician accountable completely. Let's put as much of the accountability on the politician as possible because we're actually we're legitimizing power into these people. We're uplifting these people and giving them power to direct our lives. We should hold them as accountable as possible.
So when you're talking about politics, though, in America, what does that boil down to? That boils down to Democratic and Republican. And then what does Democrat and Republican boil down to? It most likely it boils down to some individuals that you have never met, heard, seen, or even dealt with before that this party has put in front of you that said these are the best people to do the job. You know what I'm saying? So that's not really solving the problem because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, are you going to choose Coke or are you going to choose Pepsi? But I own both of them.
For the record,
you know what I'm saying?
For the record, I accept taking money out of politics. Campaign finances should all be, individual. No companies or unions should be donating to campaigns. I mean, I support the whole thing. Just fuck politicians though.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
Just fuck politicians. I'm always.
But we can have it both ways. We can throw them in jail, and we can, somehow tell the companies to stop doing it too. We can attack it in both ways.
We need to devise a system that holds politicians accountable for not serving the interest of their constituents.
It's called elections, bro.
Nah, man.
That is not the answer.
We wouldn't be where we're at if that worked.
Yeah. Well, the reason that elections don't work is because the electorate isn't informed, in my opinion. They're not. They're simply not, man. So
it's deeper than that because
no, it's actually not deeper than that. That is the issue, but that's an unsolvable problem. Like, there's no way to.
Okay.
That's like an unsolvable problem. There's no way to
okay. So then
everyone with so much misinformation. Like the internet.
So what we can do. I agree. So what we can do then is to control the campaign, or only allow an ad where you're facing your name and you maybe like a flyer with your stances on it. None of this bullshit commercials that are lying. All this. Oh, he's gonna take away this, he's gonna take away that.
This idea comes up a lot, and I just think the benefits of it are overstated. Just greatly overstated.
The biggest issue is that this is all selective choice. It's a phantom choice. It's like they act like you're choosing, but you're not really choosing because they're giving you the two people that you can choose from. So if I'm one entity,
man.
And hold on. If I'm one entity and I'm supplying all of the candidates that you can choose from on both sides, Republicans and Democrats, all that shit runs through me. Are you really getting anything other than what I want you to get? You're not getting anything other than what I want you to get. Because all that shit is controlled by me.
We had about 50 people run for office for president recently. The problem is that we only give a platform to those two parties, but if we reform that part, all those 50 people will get an equal footing, and somebody else might win.
I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm saying is we don't do that. The only chance you have to win an office in this country, not 99% of the time, is you are a Democrat or you are a Republican, which means you are falling in line with those two parties' ideologies and they're in the way that they do things, and the people that above you are what they say is what they're gonna do. So if I'm controlling the Democrats and the Republicans, then I'm controlling 99% of the fucking.
I don't think. I think the duopoly is not set up like that. I think the problem is that the Republican Party is cohesive and that all the different segments of the Democratic of the liberal side have to form one party, have to become one or they'll lose. Like I just think the left is more fragmented than the right, and it's like Bernie can't run third party or the left will lose. Like that's the situation. It's not that
how is that
parties or groups. It's that you won't defeat the right.
But here's the thing though. At the end of the day, you got to come through that Democratic pipeline, or you got to come through that Republican pipeline. And if I control both of those motherfuckers, I don't give a fuck how fragmented. I don't give a fuck how fragmented the left is, because at the end, you don't have to
run third party. No, I would love Bernie to run third party. I think.
Is he gonna do it? No, he fell in line, right? He fell in line, right? Exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
Man, but he did that against Trump, dog.
He did it. He did it. My point is this. I would love for Bernie Sanders to run third party, but Bernie Sanders is not going to run third party. He fell in line with the Democrats. So people in politics, right? They tend to fall in line with either the Democrats or the Republicans. The independents is like a little island that you're going to be on by yourself, and you better have a fucking whole army behind you, or you're not even going to survive on that island, because you need the Democrats or the Republicans to back you in order to do what the fuck you got to do. Am I right or am I wrong?
No one wants to lose is the thing. Like the Libertarian Party runs candidates, they get like 2% of the vote. No, they're not going to win, but they run on principle anyway. No one's willing to do that.
They're insignificant. They're insignificant.
But if it's what you stand on what you believe in, man. Like fuck it. It's not about.
But that's not true. The Green Party exists. The Socialist Party.
They are running a candidate, are they?
And has the fucking Green Party never put somebody in fucking office, man? What we're talking about realistic shit here. And what I'm saying,
that's the problem. That's what we're getting. That's the actual problem. You have to, you have to grind to get there. Like it's not going to happen overnight. No, you're not going to make a third party run and win, anytime soon. But it's a process.
A celebrity could do it.
I don't even think that was our conversation. Our conversation was something. Because my point was, the Republicans and Democrats are controlled by the same power. I don't even want to get into like his spirit. I don't want to. Money interests, bruh. Elite money interests control the Republican and the Democratic Party.
As much as I despise Bernie Sanders, I don't think he was controlled by elite money.
Well, no, but Bernie's different, which is why he didn't fucking make it. What I'm saying is Joe Biden, Donald Trump, the majority of the Republican Party, the majority of the Democratic Party.
Okay, what you're saying is the establishment. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes. They are behind both parties. So it doesn't matter who you vote for on the Democratic side. It doesn't matter who you vote for on the Republican side. All them motherfuckers have been filtered. Only a few select get through.
I don't believe Trump was part of the establishment, and he won.
Oh, he definitely was not. But we fucking had Ronald Reagan as a president before. He was a fucking actor. He didn't have any fucking political affiliation. Arnold Schwarzenegger, why are you the fucking governor of California, my man? You have no fucking authority to be making these decisions, but you're doing it.
Because
in defense of Reagan,
y'all not thinking that, but see, y'all don't realize that Trump do got people behind him, people that y'all don't know about, did like put money in his pocket and got in his ear and was like, yo, you need to run for president so we can start doing our thing, because what Trump is doing, people behind him are doing worse. Like there's people like William Regnery that I've never even heard of that has been bankrolling him off the cuff. There's been plenty of people that's been in the shadows and up, with Trump doing dirt, but they don't get broadcasted like that. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
I think that's a valid point.
The shit Trump been doing, trust me, somebody's getting paid off of it. All you gotta do is follow the money and see who's getting paid off of it. But it's like, no matter how many all these investigations they open, they never want to bring these people out into public and say, "Yo, you're the guy who's behind all this shit."
I don't know,
because they control the media mechanisms, which is why stories that would really do damage to our social fabric and our political fabric and our financial fabric and all these things, they never really see the light of day to the degree that other stories do, because the people that are in control the media making it. So why would I want to put some shit in your head that's gonna fuck my shit up?
I don't. I think you guys are kind of jumping out the window on this. I think.
I live out the window, Dad. Come
Yeah,
on, man.
I know. The soapboxes already. I think the American people really favor incremental change, and that the outsiders all want to make dramatic swings or dramatic changes to the way that we do things, and it really turns people off. I don't think it's necessarily that there's someone pulling the strings to make sure we only have a certain two candidates. I think Bernie Sanders is the easiest example. I think there were changes he could have made to his policies and his platform that could have got him the nomination. Um, Trump was an outsider. I don't think he was. Matter of fact, the establishment didn't want it. They tried to screw Trump out of it.
Yeah,
Would he have had to compromise his principles?
No, no, not at all. I think he would have had to compromise. Absolutely, but that's the name of the game. Like, you have to compromise. No one gets exactly what they want on either side of the aisle.
yeah, but you don't want to compromise before you get into office. You want to ask for more than you want to ask for two, even though you know you're gonna get one.
No,
Oh, and also
I think that sounds good, and it works in business, but no, it doesn't work with the American people. Like, you can't. He went too far there. I'll just say that he went too far.
Nah, you know what the thing is?
And he had bad marketing. America's all about marketing. It's how you sell it, not necessarily what you're selling.
Get the money out of politics.
No, his messaging was the problem. I don't think it was a money issue. Matter of fact, Bernie had tons of money. It wasn't a money issue at all.
At the end of the day, the higher ups in the Democratic Party are not fucking with Bernie.
Right.
Period.
Right.
So if you're directing the Democratic Party, you're directing them towards brain dead Joe, because you're telling me Bernie is not a better candidate.
Bernie lost. He's not the nominee. Let's stop talking about Bernie. Let's just let Bernie go.
No. I'm talking about the point we were talking about earlier in terms of, like, whatever that point was that was being discussed. It wasn't about. It wasn't about Bernie's capability of being a leader. It was about the fact that the Democratic Party.
He got slapped up by the duopoly. That's what you're trying to say.
The same thing that happened the same thing that happened with him and Hillary. They don't fuck with him because he's not really a Democrat. He's not pledged to them. He's more of an independent that was like, you know what, my closest side is Democrat, so I'll go this route. Just like Trump is not really a Republican. He's like, you know what, the closest thing that comes to my ideology is Republican, so I'm gonna go this way because this is my easiest claim to fame. But the point I'm getting to is that the top level Democrats never fucked with Bernie, so that's why he did not get the nomination. Period.
That's why I said he should have ran third party. He should have ran third party.
You put Bernie.
You guys don't want to fuck with me, then you lose. He should have said fuck him. Like, he should have stood on his, just put his balls on the table and said fuck it. But he didn't.
I would have liked that. I would have voted.
Yeah, a lot of people would have. Like,
he would have beat these two clowns, man. These dudes are clowns, man. Both of them.
Sometimes, but he was unwilling to do so. So it is what it is.
So let me ask you that.
Wait, hold on. That was the point I was getting to. It's not about Bernie's willing to compromise. Bernie could have did backflips for the Democratic Party. He could have put on a whole song and dance for the Democratic Party. At the end of the day, he was never getting that nomination, bro. They don't fuck with him ideologically. They don't fuck with him on a personal level. Bernie been doing this shit since fucking 1960. Fucking with them. They don't fuck with him. They're like, yo, you're gonna run for president? Hell no. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's nothing he could have said that would have not compromised his integrity to a point where he wouldn't have been able to accept it, or B, would have made them happy enough in terms of his policies where he would have ever got the Democratic nomination, because they don't fuck with him.
Anyway, moving on. Because
I got a question for you, man.
All right, go ahead, shoot.
So are you gonna get a Prius or a Model X? What are you doing in California, man? What are you guys doing, bro?
I'm probably gonna leave the state, but I was already thinking about getting a Tesla before I got my truck. But It's
Well, now you have to.
yeah, it's wild, man. And people who are acting like 15 years is a long time. Trust me, it's not. It's not a long time. It's not as long as you think. Time flies, man. But that's gonna be crazy. I don't think it takes effect. I just don't see it actually happening. But it's par for the course at this point. I mean, California is just doing its best to just screw over its economy.
Why is California so liberal? I don't understand California, man. What's going on?
They maintaining their super majority. It's just, it's what it is, man.
But if it's not working, supposedly according to all the conservatives, it's not working. They're bankrupt, this and that. Like, how's it still functioning?
Oh, it's working for the haves. It's the have-nots that are losing. Like there's people with full-time jobs that are starving out here in California. It's a mess, man. It's a mess. It's crazy. I don't know.
Hey, but I think you guys understate the EV cars because Dad, like I tell people on the Coli, it's like probably if you guys live on the East Coast, you don't see like EV cars like I see in LA, man. Like in LA where I live, I see Tesla like all the time. I
Right,
see
right.
people with different type of electric cars all the time. So you guys don't get the effect. I'm not saying that it's like it's super saturated, but it's like I keep telling the best analogy I can make is that it's like a Prius. When everybody used to crown Prius as hybrid cars
How
back
many
when I was
EVs
a kid.
do you see in the hood?
Many.
Um, but look,
I was
we're
just
talking
saying, like,
early adoption. No. We're talking. Listen, Dad, this is early adoption because guess what? Let's flip that question and let's say how many hybrids do you see? How many Priuses do you see in the hood? You're gonna see a shit ton. You're gonna see a Prius on almost every block in the hood, but that didn't happen overnight. That's 20 something years from the year 2000 to the year 2020. That's what you have. So that's what happened. You have Priuses all over the hood. Don't tell me that you don't see Priuses in the hood.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
I wouldn't hold that against them because, for example, in DR, it used to be you can import whatever car you wanted, right?
hmm
Then the government passed a law said that the car can't be more than 5 years old. So all of a sudden, when I go to DR, everybody got motherfucking brand new cars.
damn.
It's like they adjust real quick, dog. But my
Yeah.
real question about the EV cars is that if we're doing it for the environment, has anybody read a study saying how much better battery power is for the environment than actual like coal, cause like or fuel, because I mean it's off the same grid. Where do you throw it away when it ends up? Like, is it any better for the environment than using gas?
Coal and oil fuck the whole environment up. OD.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like not even non-negotiable, bro.
I
Plus,
think
like I said,
I think it's better. I think the question is it are the efficiency gains enough to justify the switch is the real question. But we'll we're gonna find out. Like I look at California as and I live here, so I know the problem that it has with electricity. I know about the power outages. I was here for all of that, so it's just kind of I'm skeptical. I'm very skeptical. Like we'll see.
but look. But here's the thing. What I also keep pointing to people is that California is also has a lot of this alternative energy. We have wind power, we have solar power, we have a lot of alternative energy. So it's moving at a rapid pace. So it's like you got people who aren't really like looking at the big picture. So
I just wish we would use nuclear. I wish we just. I mean,
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I do. I do.
Oh, fuck the oh my god, I can't with y'all niggas, man. What the fuck? Nuclear? Are you serious, bro?
It's the best thing we got.
Like. You gotta understand, nuclear is the most efficient. That's the most
Hmm.
efficient. Like that's the most efficient energy.
But we are not responsible enough with the nuclear, man. How many nuclear meltdowns have there been? How much like you know what I'm saying? Like how much damage has that done? Come on. We're not responsible. That's like giving a handgun to a toddler. No, we're not responsible enough. not responsible enough. Like maybe hold up. Maybe in a more enlightened age, all right, we can fuck with it. But come on, man, get you handing over nuclear shit to Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and these the bums. Come on.
Now we can do it, man. We need to regulate it better.
Yeah, regulation goes great. We've been doing a great job regulating everything.
We went back to regulation.
Good old government
Now you
oversight.
want regulation.
Somebody has to keep an eye on it.
We don't regulate shit.
I'm for regulation. I just think we overregulate. That's it. We just overdo it. But I get it makes people feel safe, so it is what it is.
Yeah, man, it's part of our social contract.
Dad, come on, Dad. You're a smart brother, man. Come on, man. It's not overregulation. It's misregulation. The government is in charge of regulating the corporations. If the corporations are writing the laws, they are dictating how they are being regulated.
Well,
that's like you writing your own laws.
If we live in a
stop me.
system, if we live in a system where the companies are writing the regulation, what good are you doing calling for more regulation?
Yep.
Okay, so
calling for more. Am I calling for more regulation?
Everyone's always calling for more regulation.
I'm not.
Yeah, but we're calling for regulation against that regulation.
See, and here, this is my whole point, man. Overregulation. We need regulations for the regulations of the regulations, and then we got to regulate the regulators who are regulating the regulators.
No. All we need to do, the people who are regulating right now, we need to get them the fuck up out of there because they're not regulating shit. They're letting the people that they're supposed to be regulating tell them what to do. Businesses tell the Congress what to do. Period. And tell me I'm fucking lying. Damn, y'all gonna give me hype on this shit.
I think it's all systemic. I don't think changing the actors changes anything. I think we need, I'll say, better regulations. Sure, I'll agree with that. But I also think that we overregulate. For example, I'll give an example. The regulation that prevents doctors from practicing in a separate state in a different state, that's silly. Just overregulation. You're a certified licensed doctor in California. If you step across into Oregon, all of a sudden you can't practice anymore. Like, it's just stupid shit, man. Like, we have so many regulations that don't make sense. It's absurd.
That went away though.
For the virus, it didn't. They didn't.
Yeah, but that's not gonna come back. That's not gonna come back.
Exactly. So that's an example of a regulation that was on the books that we don't need. That's exactly what I'm talking about, though. That's a perfect example.
Okay, but you know why that was on the books? Probably because of some fucking lobbyists wanted to make fucking money for the board in their state, so they want you to pay the board fees for their state and all this bullshit. We gotta get the money out of this stuff, man. That way we can get some common sense laws. But also,
common sense isn't that common.
It's an oxymoron. Okay, I get it. But also, you have to take into consideration the fact that because we are a republic, right? Every state can do whatever the hell they want, so that's why we had that too.
We're a republic? All I hear is that we're a democracy. Are we a republic? That's crazy.
So what you stand?
That's crazy.
Stand, bro?
Well, I mean, we were just talking about for the people, and it's up to the people's votes. That sounded mighty democratic. We're a republic.
Now here's the thing about that. Though.
Oh shit! Well, let's rehash everything then.
But I mean, we pretend to be. I would say because we're really not. We pretend to be about stuff that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
and we make our own lives difficult.
America is a very unique beast. It's a giant clusterfuck, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I wouldn't live anywhere else. Definitely wouldn't live anywhere else.
Are you tripping, dog?
No, I wouldn't live anywhere else. No. No.
You get more freedom. You get more freedom in DR than you do here, man.
I've never been, so I can't. I don't have anything to say. But
you get drink and drive to your heart's content.
way more ways to die there, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, man. Hey, you're free to do it if you want to, bro.
That's crazy. Nah, I wouldn't live anywhere else. America's where it's at.
It's
Oh,
not bad over here.
bad places.
I mean, if I was white, might have a different opinion. There's probably still some other countries that'd probably be better, but
Bro, South America, you can find some spots in South America. You can find some spots in Europe. You can find some spots in Africa, bro.
You
nah,
don't think
wasn't a
Canada's
fan.
probably nice? I mean, I haven't been to Canada, but it's probably nice up there.
I've been to Canada. It's cool. It's like off-brand America. It's like a
What
Kroger
city you went to in
US. Like
Canada?
it's and like I think like 90% of the population lives right along our border. Like it's just like off-brand America.
What city? What
Yeah.
city did you go to in Canada?
Victoria and Ontario. Ontario has beautiful women. Beautiful, beautiful,
They left.
Jesus.
We out.
beautiful women.
Always wanted to visit Canada, especially Toronto. I heard Toronto was really nice.
What was the name of that little fucking place? Can never think of the fucking port. I don't want to fuck up this name of this little city. I can never say the name, but in Ontario, it wasn't like a major city. I was there for a job. I can't say the fucking name of the place. I'm not even gonna try. But anyway, yeah. It's a beautiful country. It's great, but fuck them. Fuck them. They're just as racist. Cacks everywhere are racist.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have any in Miami.
so
What?
so Florida. Let's get into Florida. What a fucking state, man. Holy shit.
Oh my god, man! You haven't even heard what the governor's doing, bro.
What happened?
Yeah, no. So very much, he's proposing a law, and since we have Republican legislature, it might actually get through. Where if you're in a protest and someone or anyone does any damage to anything, the police can charge the entire population of the protest,
Mm.
and that's a felony charge. So basically for protesting, they take away your right to vote. Is what they're saying.
Nasty.
Oh wow.
No, violation of the Constitution?
No, not if you have
Uh,
a felony.
Yeah, it is.
No, if you have
Now they have a felony, man. They're gonna make it a felony.
Yeah. If you're a
Yeah.
felon, you can't vote. That's on
Damn.
the
They
books
have to throw
already.
you in jail, though.
No, if you're a felon, you
But
can't vote. It's
if
already
you're
on the books.
convicted, you can't vote. Period. Whether you go to jail or not, if you're a convicted felon, you plead whatever, you can't vote.
Damn.
Man, that's that
horrible.
bullshit.
I'm like,
That's the new.
I'm on,
That's the new shit.
I'm like on the
I'm never setting
protests
foot in
and
court.
Yo,
So
that
I'm
is that bullshit.
on the protests. I'm like I think that governors, mayors, they do have to take kind of a hard line stance on violence, on any kind of destruction of
But
property.
you don't have to
Of course.
everybody for it.
I think you can't be passive at all with that kind of stuff. You have to be kind of
Of
like
course.
law and order.
Of course. I agree when it comes to that. And like we had some dust ups here. Like there were some police cars burned. A little dust up by the police station or whatever. We were under curfew for a little while, but the county took charge of that, and they arrested who they had to arrest, and that was it. I don't think you have to have a state law or make it tough on everybody that goes outside. Like that's just extra exorbitant. Like he made it so that if you're a protester and you're blocking the street, the person driving the car can legally run you over and not face any charges or whatever.
wow.
That's the proposal, though. It's insane.
Jesus.
The protests have gotten out of control. I don't even like talking about the protests anymore because it's become something where similar to the
Well, you
cops.
know
No,
what?
it's similar to the
They
cops.
would.
You know how the cops would say a few bad apples spoil the whole bunch? Like, same thing with these protests. A few acts of violence, and it really just mars
There
the
wouldn't
entire
be
movement.
protests. Hold on. There wouldn't be protests if they just convicted these cops because it's bullshit.
Talk that talk.
The fact of the matter is, they have no problem convicting black cops when they kill people at all. Period.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
those two black cops killed that white kid in Louisiana, they locked him up the same day. When Muhammad Noor killed that white lady by accident, they locked him up the exact same day. They have no problem convicting and putting cops in jail when they're black. But when they're white,
I mean, I'm not.
no.
I mean, I'm in agreement, but none of that to me justifies violence against innocent people. It just doesn't.
I'm not saying about. Like I said,
That's what I'm saying. They have to take a zero. You know, they have to take a hard line, zero tolerance for
like
violence,
civilians,
and I support
they
that.
would treat the cops like civilians.
Yeah, if people keep getting violated, I mean, what are you gonna do? If somebody keeps slapping you in the face, slapping you in the face, slapping you in the
You know
face,
what you
you're
do?
gonna keep just
Yeah, you slap the person who slapped you back. Go shoot some cops. Don't burn up the innocent guy or the old man down the street store.
Yo, we gotta shut this down. We gotta shut this down. Hold on.
I'm just
I don't
saying.
know what he's talking about. I don't know what. Yo, officer,
You never heard of
officer,
how we do in
I don't know what
California?
he's talking about.
You haven't heard
I do not
what
agree
happens
with.
in California?
I do not agree with anything this man has just said. I just want to say I'm
I'll
a
listen to your
law-abiding
story.
citizen,
You didn't know how
and I
we
pay
did
my
that in
taxes.
California?
God bless.
You gotta check the news in LA. You check the news in LA. You know, shit's getting crazy. It's getting spooky. But I'm saying I don't understand how man A does you wrong, so you go over to man C and burn his shit down, and you feel like it's justified. There's just nothing you can say to
You're
me
right.
that's gonna make that make sense. Like I don't care what they did.
I'm the
I
same way
agree.
on the Coli. Like I shut that type of talk down on the Coli just because it's like it's not. You know, if you're gonna do it, you got to go for go for the root issue. You know, go for the root people. Don't mess with the guy on the street. That isn't fix shit, man. That isn't send a message or anything. You know, to burn someone's business that has nothing to do with shit. You're not even attacking corporations, man. You're attacking somebody that doesn't have shit to do with shit.
Even the corporations, like they're burning like Targets and Walmart, like that's all insured. You're not actually hurting anyone. Like it's just,
right.
it's just silly.
That's
Like
destruction.
it's just silly, and it's kind of just turned me off to the whole protest. Like the protests are good things, and this silly stuff is just really turned me off to the whole thing. It's just.
But
It's just a
again, man,
terrible
it's the white
situation.
people fucking it up for everybody, bro. What are you doing that?
Well,
It's white people doing that shit.
I'm not attaching race to any of it. I'm gonna avoid that.
I am, dog. It's all crazy. These,
I'll avoid
these
that.
white Black Lives Matter people are the ones burning these anarchists or whatever, like Trump says. But it's not many. It's not many of them.
I'm not adding no BLM, no Blue Lives Matter, no All Lives Matter. I stay out of all of that talk because that's like people just talking in circles. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, and the whole movement's been co-opted, so I just try to avoid all of that.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's actually completely right. I think everyone's hands are dirty in that situation.
True.
But Seattle's still going, I think, or Portland, I believe.
Portland.
Yeah, Portland's still going.
Which is crazy because Portland has like a 3% black population. Like, what the fuck?
But I'm
And
saying.
I have a friend who lives in Portland, and he said it's actually like 4 blocks total. Like the news is just blown it out of proportion.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
So it's just the media's they play a big part in this shit, making us believe that the fringes are the norm when it's really not.
You know what pissed me off the most? Pissed me off the most was that the day I woke up and then Trump said New York is an anarchist jurisdiction. I was like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Ain't nothing happening out here. What the fuck are y'all talking about? It's an anarchist jurisdiction. What? Who's blowing up buildings in fucking New York? What the fuck are you talking about?
He's been trying to stop sending money to y'all for a minute though. He's trying to cut those federal funds any way he can.
I was like, that's a bullshit. I was like, if that's the case, then we shouldn't be paying nobody any funds because New York makes money just like California. And if that's the case, then we can keep our money to ourselves.
I got a question. Does anyone here think that Trump actually has a good chance of getting reelected?
Yeah.
Of course.
Wow.
I think I don't know because look, I think he's gonna do something shifty with he might try to do something where some type of election. I mean, I think that's a good thing. But they're saying that about the left. But I mean, we think the same about Trump.
No,
Yeah,
Trump
you
has a
can.
good shot because he's gonna win Florida, um, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and so they're all still close. He can win.
Here's the thing when it comes to Trump in the election is like, like being a public Trump supporter is kind of like taboo a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like unless you like really white and really out
It's
there,
very
you're not
taboo.
really out there with your
Yeah, it's very taboo.
you're not out there with your Trump supporting. You know what I'm saying? But here's the key is that this is how he snuck up on Hillary in 2016. Because when you ask somebody, with a camera on them, or when you ask somebody in a conversation, like, hey, like who you think about voting for? They'll be like, oh, I'm voting for,
Hillary.
I'm voting for Hillary, or I'm voting for Joe because Trump is, he's crazy. But when they go into that booth and they look into their heart, you know what I'm saying? Their real beliefs, like they're going in and they're voting for Trump because whether we want to acknowledge it or not, there is a huge number of people in this country who think just like Trump thinks. They get busy.
There's
They get
I
busy
don't
for
think
him.
it's I don't think it's necessarily they think how Trump thinks, but there's key issues for everyone, and on some of those issues, Trump is where they want to be. Like, there's a lot of people who disagree with much of what Trump says, but they want a wall built. Just simple stuff like that. Or they don't like
Oh,
China. They think China
a
is
good
screwing
point.
us over. Like, there's certain issues that some people might be like, well, Trump's fighting for us on this, so all right with them. And then there's
It's a good
also,
point.
people who are some people who are even on the left who they do what Jesus says that they should do. It's just it's a part of our reality, man. Like, you know, the church is real, even if it's not real. No offense to anyone.
I
And when
think
you
what
fact,
I think what got to me was it's nothing surprising, but there was somebody posted a study the other day from the Coli that basically said 53% from anywhere between 43 to 53% of people who voted for Trump pretty much know he's full of shit, and it was just like what's that kind of say? They know he's full of shit when he says this, but they're still in support of him. So it is going back to like
It's
what
not
Ted
really.
said is that there's yeah.
As a conservative, I can tell you that's not what it is. They're not in support of him. They're just he's a better vehicle for their policies than whoever their left
Right.
is running. It's not really him as a person. I haven't heard or met anyone who likes Trump as a person or thinks he's a great,
Okay.
politician, speaker, or leader. That's not the case at all. I think he's pretty much panned for his ability to hold press conferences across the board. It's just you have an agenda, and which candidate suits that agenda, more. Is all you're looking at, and that's where we're at as a country, really. That's
Yeah,
why it's kind of
yeah,
like it diminishes. For me, it diminishes a lot of the whole lobby talk too, because most people are going to vote for whoever their side is running, regardless of what ads are put on TV.
yeah.
Like, I don't think there's any amount of money Trump could spend on a campaign that's going to get you to vote for him. I don't know. We'll see.
Liquor game's on already.
Oh, all right. It's about that time then.
I would say so.